Hey YouTube, as the title says, the push begins. I've got my ELO rating that will come at after the last battle here. The team is Lurantis, Ampharos, and Jellicent. It's a pretty just balanced team. Lurantis weak to bug and fire, and Jellicent will beat that. And Jellicent's weak to grass, and Lurantis has Fury Cutter and Superpower, and then Ampharos is your safe swap with Brutal Swing and Thunder Punch using the Shadow version because I find that is better as the safe swap as a Shadow. So here we go. Lead is kind of neutral-ish. They're half fighting, so bug is actually just neutral. I can launch a couple superpowers here, so that is what I'm going to do. What I really like about Lurantis, if you've never used it, is the speed at which it charges. As you can see, 9 to a Leaf Blade and 10 to a superpower, so this thing charges super quick, especially with the buffed Fury Cutter this season. Not that I think Fury Cutter just got a bonus buff, but very, very strong overall combo now. Jellicent on the Skeledirge, so obviously Surf super effective, Hex super effective, going to force that second shield here. And then I would probably start shielding. I could also, actually I've already shielded once. Did I commit the second shield here? I could just let it go. Yeah, I do let it go thinking that I could just go with Ampharos. But they decided not to. This is I'm going to stop right here because something happened here which you and the average person, maybe not you, but the average person probably does not know how dumb this was in terms of timing and everything. So they throw a Torch Song here. They have a 5-turn Incinerate and I have a 6-turn Hex. So there's no way that I would be beating them to the move, right? Because I would take 2 Hexes to get to 6 and they would only take 1 Incinerate to get to 5. So if they were going to have a move, they would go Incinerate move. If they didn't have a move, they would have to throw a second Incinerate. So if they were going to have to throw a second Incinerate, the optimal timing would be 3 Hexes. So what should I do here? So they throw Incinerate. I just throw 2 and a Surf, which is the worst case scenario, right? Because it's either they had a move and they would have got it off, or they have to throw an Incinerate, another one, and I should have gotten 1 more Hex. Or what allowed them to happen is they just waited and caught the move on a grass. So those are the types of things that you may not like when it comes to, when I talk about fast move optimization and just kind of thinking through like when you need to throw the moves and grabbing shield and stuff like that. Just think like that's sort of a prime example of like just use logic about your opponent's fast moves and your fast moves and what it means for being able to launch charge moves. But do get the Lurantis fast back on the Virizion. Got a couple super power offs. Took that out. Have shield. Greninja comes in. Not able to get to move, but Ampharos is going to come in. Skeledirge. Gonna let the move go. Gonna get to a move here. Letting move go just because I'm way more worried about Hydro Cannon than I am worried about a move here. Get that off. Volt Switch registers. And they are farming up to trying to get to 2 moves, but they're not going to get it, so I will take this out here with the Thunder Punch. Lapras, they get out into Golisopod. They also have Fury Cutter, which is super effective. I'm just kind of hesitating. I should not be hesitating. I should be going Jellicent right away. I think why I was Ampharos is also super effective. Either way, I should not have hesitated. I should have gone one of the other two. I think when you see Fury Cutter on Golisopod, you should be going into, I don't like how I'm playing this. When you see Fury Cutter on Golisopod and you have a Jellicent, the bug is resisted, and then the charge move bug and water is resisted. So there really is no reason to come in with anything but Jellicent. Now, Ampharos is an electric, and electric is super effective against your water Pokemon in Golisopod. So I think your default brain, which I think mine did there, was just like electric after a hesitation there, but the correct answer is Jellicent, but Ampharos, this is what I'm loving about it. Like 12, 8, 8 to these brutal swings. Volt switches really adding up as the Shadow, really putting on a lot of pressure here. And grabbed both shields. They power punch the first time here. And then going Wild Charge, but that is resisted. They eventually get out into Lapras. Do get to Leaf Blade at 9 here. This will do decent chip. So chip it to the yellow. Jellicent will now just be able to come in and take these resisted Sparkling Aria, Ice Beam, Skull Bash, everything is resisted. Surf, there. So yeah, are running Surf. Obviously run Sparkling Aria if you have a Lapras. So go for the second one, does not matter. I'm just going to have a ton of energy coming out. Ampharos, so I resist the electric. So those Volt Switches are resisted, and again, just look at the spam on this thing. Getting to the Leaf Blade, this will chip to 50%. And unless they have like a Focus Blast, like a Brutal Swing is not really going to put any pressure on me here. In fact, I could take another one, but I'm going to force some shield pressure here, as I often recommend doing. So they let it go out, come in with Scizor, so I'm going to instant swap, because I think I have two better answers as opposed to resisted Fury Cutter and Leaf Blade there. I have neutral superpower, but I think it's just better just to get out. When you see something Scizor, I always say never bait. When you see something like a Shadow, it's not even a Shadow, but when you see something as glassy as a Scizor, and if it's like a Shadow Scizor or Shadow Typhlosion, those are ones where it's a lot easier to bait because of how much damage these Pokemon take. So it's just a lot easier to put them in a tricky situation. So even if they let it go, right, the worst case scenario, they let it go, you still took it to the deep red. So those are sort of the cost benefit analysis there that you can like get away with. Come in with Ampharos, they come in with Typhlosion. I'm going to go for the extra one here, and now I'm at a Brutal Swing. So now it's great because either they have to let a full Volt Switch go through, or I'm going to get to another move here. I'm surprised that I didn't actually go for another Volt Switch. Clearly do as I say, not as I do sort of scenario here. Because I definitely should have gone for the full Volt Switch there, unless I was just assuming that I could sweep it here. Still. Again, that's just kind of recognizing your opponent's fast moves versus your fast move and how you have certain advantages you can play out here. But they have no health on that, so they will be Volt Switch down. Tentacruel. I assume I am going to get out of here immediately. Going into my save swap of Ampharos to be met with Heliolisk, which is also an electric, so our Volt Switches are just resisted on each other. This thing is not very defensive, so the non-stab Brutal Swing probably puts it out on the next one. They do have a super effective Bulldoze though, and because they also have a 4-turn move, I don't need to throw another move. It's just we're going to have the same fast move anyway, so might as well just go for that second charge move. Almost take it out, 1 HP. Lurantis comes in and is going to take either an electric move or a ground move. Both resisted. Instant swap into Jellicent when the Tentacruel comes back in. And unfortunately, this is the Shadow Claw Gliscod. And yes, they do not have any charge moves to throw at you, but these, as you're going to see here, these Claws and Aqua Jet combos really add up here. And Gliscod has enough bulk in the Ultra League to survive one of these Shadow Balls with ease here. So as you can see, the pressure is really being added. So that's why I'm going to have to start shielding, just because the Claws are really adding up here. And I'm worried that the Poison is going to take out my Lurantis too easy. So they do end up letting it go, which is interesting because Poison is resisted here. And Scald is resisted here. And everything is resisted here, which allows me to get to move. And then once I get to move, I'm just going to outpace this. Poison's super effective, but Fury Cutter Leaf Blade, the spam on this thing is going to be pretty unreal here. So as you can see, spinning like a madman, going to shield up any potential move, even if it's resisted because of the poison adding up. And then I will basically be able to go 2 Leaf Blades before they get to another move. And they know it, so they let it go. So, okay-ish lead. They get out into Blaziken. I end up shielding because I remember Blaziken has like Brave Bird or something. I forget. I know it has a nuke that hits neutral here, so that's why I shield. It is an overheat, which would have been a nuke, but it would have been a resistant nuke. So that was, yeah, okay. I do remember, actually I should put that in the title too. 8-2 with this team. 5-0 in my first set. 3-2 in my second set. So that's why you're seeing a lot of wins here, because I just put them in order. So yeah, I went 5-0 and then 3-2. And got my rating, which you will see. So strong team, very balanced. It's Saturday. It's community day. There's only a couple more days left, and then there's Great League. I can already see by the views people ain't having this league. So that's okay. We'll just kind of put out a couple more teams, one tomorrow, a couple on Monday. Unless there's some event that I need to cover. I think there may be an event. I think there's an event on the 23rd or something. I gotta check the yeah. Let me check while this plays. Because the team is this is why you guys can I can go sidetrack here pretty easy. Is because balanced teams are very, very, very easy to run, in my opinion. And I've always said this, like if you are a newer player, run a team like this because they are very easy to run. Lurantis lead. If you see a fire, if you see a poison, you safe swap into your safe swap, which is ampharos, and then you need to make a decision here. Can you flip switch? Yes or no? Is it worth it? Here, I cannot flip switch. So I would be surprised if I shield because I just can't flip switch anyways. So it's basically just spam. At this point, just gonna have to go Lurantis back in. Maybe get a charge. No, probably. Maybe get a super power off. But if not, then just go jellicent, and we'll see what happens in the back end here. But there's not much else you can do. I believe there was. I thought there was. The problem with I'm finding with these news is they drop news, but then it's like for events that are like multiple weeks out. Like there's, just to give you context, I didn't even cover this event. I should have maybe covered it yesterday, but Yamper is such a bad, and the evolution is such a bad Pokemon, it does not matter. But Yamper was announced on June 5th, and the start date was June 20th. So they're announcing things over 2 weeks in advance, which I guess is good if you want to like forecast, but it just makes it like almost like if a content creator doesn't cover, it's like, what is coming up? I forget. I know the ancient, I think the ancient discoveries. Yeah, I knew it. And this was a month ago. This is why 23rd at 10 a.m. So that could be my first video on Monday just to switch this up. The ancient discovery awaits the legendary giant's return ahead of Global Go Fest was announced on May 23rd for a June 23rd start. So I have to go back a month. It is all the Regis. It is all the Regis with their legacy moves and some Gigantamax. So we'll cover, I guess we'll cover the Regis. Is that all this is? Honestly, I think you guys would probably still want to focus on an event with Regis with legacy moves over a 6th Summer Cup that is on its last full day before Great League tomorrow. Like, and then yeah, for sure, Friday of this week, we will do an in-depth Go Fest analysis. I'm gonna be honest, I am kind of disappointed with the spawns. I can see myself, and again, if you haven't been playing for long, maybe these spawns are great because there's definitely some Pokemon in these habitats that you should be getting. At the same time, for those of us who have been playing for a long time, when I was looking at the spawns, I was actually just like, I think I'm just rating Zemazetta and Zacian the entire thing with my like go auto catcher in the background here, because it did not seem like there was anything that I was like, oh, I need to go catch this. I think some of the, and again, you need a ticket for this. I think some of the ticketed special ones were good. Where's the ticket one? Sorry, yeah, I know I'm going off for ticket holders. Yeah, for ticket holders, the following Pokemon will be attracted to incense during the event. Torkoal, Skidoo, Pachirisu, Klefki, right? So those are the ones it's like you're rarely ever going to have a chance to get Klefki and Pachirisu and all these Pokemon unless you're in like the certain regions. So those are the Pokemon that are actually probably the best ones to try to get. But outside of that, I believe they were just like pretty general spawns here. Get Frigbacks if you want to get ahead for the next one, but like yeah, like Duskull again, it all comes down to whether you have how long you've been playing. So I'm just looking at the we're we're talking about GoFest because that's the only thing that people are actually going to care about in the next like week. The Moonless Volcano habitat, if you don't have a Duskull for Dusknoir or Dusclops plus the XLs for Dusknoir for Ultra League, focus on that. But like there's Golett. If you don't have a I keep forgetting the evolution of Golett, but if the evolution of Golett, you probably want that. Fletchling, if you don't have a Talonflame, you probably want a Talonflame for Great League and Ultra League, so you want that. Skrelp, Dragalge is way, way better, so if you don't have a good one for Great League or Ultra League, now it's better. But like, as someone who's been playing since 2018, I have maybe I don't have the XLs for Dusknoir and Ultra League, so maybe that is what I will hunt in this one. But I have Great League and Ultra League Talonflame. I have Great League and Ultra League Skrelp already. Dragalge. So that one is just like a nothing one for me. And it's the same thing. You got like, I guess Panchams if you want like a good Pangoro for Great League. That's an option. But then like Scraggy, nerfed. Chespin, I already got Chestnut from the Legacy. Dedenne, you only need one for the Great League. Machops, again, have Machamp has had multiple community days. And then we're getting into like Piplup, like if you want an Empoleon, but Empoleon's been having multiple, like a community day and a throwback community day. And then look at these other Pokemon like Sandslash, Swinub, Snover. Like this is the Hypnotic is a terrible one. And same thing, like you have, if you want a Toxapex or a Greninja or a Tentacruel and you don't have good ones yet for the Swamp one, great. But if you've been playing for like 3 years plus, you probably have all these Pokemon already. So I really don't know. And there's also these like day-long ones, but these same thing, day-long ones, Chansey Community, Skarmory, been out since Season 1. Larvitar has a bunch already. Shieldons, Bastiodons have multiple day event ones. Shelma got nerfed. Volibee with Mandibuzz has been around forever, and Oranguru and Gumi's already had a community day. Like, I'm finding like the new Pokemon that you want to hunt or like the amazing GBO Pokemon you want to hunt are not in this. And same thing, the Sunday. Galarian Farfetch, Cubone, if you want a Marowak, Ralt, Carablast, Ponyard, Dino, Pesminiot, like Jangmo, which is literally the community day today, is you may encounter it on this Sunday. It's like we just have a full community. I don't want any. What do you mean may encounter it? So I don't know. My guess is this is going to be. I always love these Global Go Fests. When they first did it, I think it was a fantastic idea. I've done all the Global Go Fests since then. Thanks to many subscribers, I have not had to pay for the ticket in the last like 3 years. Although this is one, I'm a free play player. I do not pay for any of the tickets. I do not pay for any of the events. I do not pay for anything. If a subscriber did not buy me this Global Go Fest ticket, I feel like this is one that I probably just would buy anyways, even though I'm underwhelmed by this one. I just think that getting these like spawns, like the 4 incense spawns and the extra tickets and stuff, like, because I'm going to be raiding nonstop for the Zemizen and Zacian. I'm going to go through a crap ton of my green passes. I think these are the days, like, if you're going to grind 2 days and you're going to spend money on the game, these are the 2 days. I wouldn't spend $20 for a bottle cap and the extra stuff you're getting. But the actual ticket itself, I think is probably something, if you're going to grind, worth it. That being said, from my perspective, having played since 2018 and having the majority of this Pokemon, I can see my days being maybe 4 hours each, like a 10 to 2. Do one of the rotations every time focus on raiding for the first like few hours, have the couple walk arounds the park there that I'm going to play at. Here's my ELO coming up here. My ELO is about where it normally is. I've been higher, I've been lower, but 21.88 here is where I am basically starting the grind. Again, I've been as high as 24.25 and I've been as low as like 20.33. So 21.88 is exactly where I expected it to be, especially that I've tested Pokemons and teams and stuff that I'm not trying to grind. But now, once you get that ELO, you definitely want to start. It's a mental thing, right? You see the numbers go up and down, you want to start grinding. So I'll do that this upcoming week with Great League. So stay tuned for lots of Great League. Stay tuned for some event coverage. The Global Go Fest coverage will do way more in-depth about Pokemon that, again, I won't, when I do the Global Go Fest analysis, this is just Dan ranting in this one, or not ranting, just kind of talking. But when I do the Global Go Fest this one, I will just go under the assumption that you do not have Pokemon for GBL. And if you do need to focus on GBL Pokemon in these habitats, what do you need to focus on just so people can get some value out of it? Yeah, but for me, the value is going to be the rating of the Zemenzetta and Zacian for me. But let me know in the comments if you made it this long. Thank you. In the comments below, how long have you played Pokemon Go? What do you think of this Go Fest compared to the last one? Because I'm underwhelmed, but I'm still going to play it. And what are you going to focus on this Go Fest? Is there a Pokemon that like I just did not see in one of the things I just quick searched there that you're like, oh, you need to catch this one? But for me, it's just going to be like the rare incense ones from the regions, and raiding I think is the go-to for me. And then again, if you don't have like specific GBL Pokemon that you just maybe don't have a good IV one, like people may not have a good Pancham for Great League. Like that has been a tougher IV to get for Great League. So that's probably a good one if you want good IVs for Great League to get a good Pancham. So I'll kind of talk about all those nuances on that video. Anyways, that is it. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.